Jamie, why is it that grace is such a wonderful gift to receive, but it's such a hard gift to give?
That's a good question. I'm reminded of a joke I've made for years when I'm talking with other couples and talk about Kim and I and how Kim's got the spiritual gift of giving and that I have the spiritual gift of receiving. And, I just think some of us just tend to really have a selfish nature, if not all of us, in the fact that it is easy to receive grace, or at least when it's foisted upon us by God, we do receive it. But then it's hard sometimes to give it and pass it on to others. I sure relate to that. And I guess one of the things I started to say in the message, didn't have time to really focus too much on it, was the issue of gratitude. I find that those who have sort of a stuck point in trying to pass grace on tend to get unstuck when they start to develop a mindset or an attitude of gratitude. Focusing on and realizing how much God has really forgiven them, how much grace He has given us and them, and then out of gratitude, thanking Him for that. And you find that what flows from that gratitude tends to be now a softening in our hearts and minds to passing grace on to those around us. At least that's the way I found it work. I can get a hard heart just like everybody else, but throughout the week, if I find myself getting hard-hearted, not forgiving somebody who's wronged me, or getting impatient and frustrated with one of my kids, or being kind of difficult with a staff person here at the church, or whatever it might be, I find that if I get quiet, get in that sweet spot with God and realize how much He has blessed me, how much grace He has shown me, and develop an attitude of gratitude, then I find that the grace starts to flow more freely toward those in my life. So that's my question for you all this week, is what are you going to do this week to allow the grace to flow? For some of you, it might be having more extended quiet times. I said even before worship today, because I had such a crazy busy week, I said, God, I need to spend more time with you alone this week. I didn't get enough time last week. And I know that if I want to keep grace flowing, it's going to be because I spend time with Him. For some of you, it might be just an act of obedience to say, you know what, out of those three choices, acts of kindness, forgiveness, and evangelism, I just need to move on one of those. I'm going to be a doer of the word, not just the hearer. And I'm going to allow grace to flow as I act and obey. So the question is, what Ruth has God brought into your life? What Ruth person? And what are you going to do to show grace? How's it going to flow? I think if we all ask that, answer for ourselves, there's no stopping how God will use us.
Thank you, Jamie.